Fame can be flashy, but there's always more to the story. Here, we go beyond the headlines and talk about the people, patterns, and moments behind the spotlight. It's thoughtful, it's real, and it's never just surface level. Welcome to Talk Fame to Me. I'm the voice behind the fame. Hey y'all, welcome back to Talk Fame to Me. I'm the voice behind the fame, and today we're breaking down a moment from Sundance 2017 that's resurfacing online, but the real story is getting lost in the noise because this wasn't about celebrity drama, this was about justice. So, this clip shows Jay-Z at the Sundance Film Festival during the premiere, of Time, the Khalif Browder story. This wasn't a music appearance. This wasn't a red carpet flex. Jay-Z was there to bring attention to mass incarceration and a young man whose life was changed forever by the system. But instead of staying on that topic, a reporter brought up Trump. And let's be real for a second. We all know when an artist's personal views don't align with someone's values, it can cause backlash. We've seen that play out publicly with different artists, and that's people's right. Why would anyone want to support an artist whose values don't align with theirs? But here's the key point, that wasn't why Jay Z was there. I want y'all to watch this clip for yourself because context matters. Pay attention to the question that's asked, how Jay Z responds, and how the moment shifts. We're going to come back and break this down together.
Trump and what it means for what it means for mass incarceration.
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then, can I ask you about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement?
So you telling me we got footage of Harvey Weinstein protecting Jay-Z from answering a question about Donald Trump? I'm sorry, Jay-Z, but I need you to come out and say something, man. You too quiet. And you weren't at the Grammys.
All right, so you just saw the moment everyone's been talking about. Jay-Z made it clear he didn't want to talk about Trump. And honestly, why should he? He wasn't at Sundance to talk politics. He was there to talk about mass incarceration and the story of Khalif Browder. You can actually see the reporter tried to pivot back after realizing she went off topic. The next question goes back to the real reason Jay-Z was there, which was what this project means for the conversation around mass incarceration. But by then, the moment had already been derailed. The spotlight had shifted away from the purpose of the film. Harvey Weinstein, he stepped in during that exchange at the time. Professionally, he had more media training and experience handling moments like that in front of cameras. See, I have to break it down really slow because I want you guys to understand what picture is being painted and what the video actually shows. It does not show what everyone is implying online. This is what it's implying. Okay, if you really pay attention to what's being said, the body language, the reporter, Harvey, okay, he called this project a labor of love for Jay-Z. That line told you everything. This wasn't a branding move. This wasn't PR. This was personal to Jay-Z. Khalid Browder was from New York, the Bronx to be specific, and we all know Jay-Z and Beyonce have consistently worked to give back and push for change when it comes to reforming the justice system. Okay, so for anyone who may not fully know the Khalif Browder story, this is why this project mattered so much. Khalif was arrested at 16 years old. Let me put up a picture of Khalif. Okay, but yeah, so Khalif was arrested at 16 years old for a crime he said he didn't commit. He couldn't afford bail, so he was sent to Rikers Island to wait for trial. He spent nearly 3 years in jail without ever being convicted of anything, including long periods in solitary confinement. Eventually, the charges were dropped, but the trauma stayed with him. His story became a symbol of how the justice systems can fail young, poor, and marginalized people. This documentary wasn't just about what happened to Khalif, it was about exposing a system that can break people before they ever get a chance to prove they're innocent. Okay? This story hits home for a lot of people. Anyone who's been falsely accused, given extreme sentences for minor charges, or taken advantage of because they didn't have money, legal knowledge, or support knows how the system can abuse its power. So here is a picture of Khalif Browder, his family. Okay, so Khalif's story represents so many people who don't have cameras, headlines, or documentaries telling their side. Okay. All right, so let's go back to this picture here. Okay. I also want to be clear about something. I looked into this clip and the situation around it, and what I found did not match what some people are trying to imply online. Harvey Weinstein's later criminal convictions have nothing to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is not tied to Harvey Weinstein's crime. Um, they are not locked up together. There is no connection like that, okay? So Weinstein is being incarcerated now does not change why Jay-Z was at Sundance in 2017. And that's just the facts. What this moment really shows is how fast important conversations can get overshadowed. Instead of focusing on mass incarceration, broken bail systems, and how the justice systems impacts real people, the moment almost turned into a political soundbite. Okay, that's why Harvey Weinstein he stepped in, okay? And that's how meaningful stories can lose its spotlight that quick just by the reporter trying to stir up chaos. You see what she did in the clip. She tried to stir up chaos and make Jay-Z kind of bait him into getting into a political type of thing, right? And that would have overshadowed Khalees Broder's his story. As simple as that. So Harvey Weinstein, you can tell that um he has more experience with these kind of questions coming from the media, okay? Because Jay-Z was just like, I don't want to talk about that. So so you can see how Harvey had to kind of like step in or whatever. And from my understanding, what I read, Harvey Weinstein, he was really good at what he do. He was really talented at what he do. So it wouldn't be weird for Jay-Z to want to work with him because he was the person that could bring Khalif's story to life, right? To the spotlight, to the big screen. So I don't feel that Jay-Z shouldn't have worked with him. But later on, years later, that's when we heard about what Harvey Weinstein had going on behind closed doors. That does not mean that just because you do business with someone, you're guilty by association, because I don't know what you do behind closed doors when you're at home by yourself. Like, come on, guys. Let's be smart. Let's be realistic. Come on. It just doesn't make sense. Jay-Z, they have to show me some evidence. They have to, in a court of law or anything like that, for me to believe that he has anything remotely to do with this situation. And I'm just being real, okay? So I want to know what you guys took away from this clip. Let's play it again for the ones that need to see it again.
Trump and what it means for what it means for mass incarceration.
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then, can I ask about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement?
And you guys know, people. Okay, now I'm gonna just go off the script a little bit. Okay, so people that really hang with Caucasian people, anybody that's Black American and they hang around Caucasian people, if you notice, they like to use the friend word very loosely, right? So just because Jay-Z, they're doing business, this and that, Harvey Weinstein called Jay-Z his friend. But Caucasian people do that. It's like a word of endearment, trying to say that, I like you, you're my friend. So they're going to throw the friend title on you. People that, been around Caucasian people, that's how they are, that's their thing. And that's cool, because if you call me your friend, then it's obvious that you like me. And that's okay, right? So you guys are reading into it so much. And he was there doing business with him. They're working on a movie together, a story together. Of course, you're my friend. You're helping me bring this tragic story to the spotlight to expose a justice system that's very unfair. It's only right. Yeah, we are friends. But anyways, so do you feel like the real message got derailed? Do you think artists should be pulled into political questions when they're not there to speak on political issues? They're there to speak on social justice issues. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. This is what we do here. We don't just react to headlines. We break down what's really going on behind the fame. I'm the voice behind the fame. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, one more thing before we leave. I have another question. I mean, not a question, but a statement. If you didn't catch yesterday's video on the Jay-Z situation, go check it out on my channel. It adds more context to today's conversation. Thank you for the love and support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.